Hello, beloveds. Happy 3/3 Portal Day. I am Anistara Ma Ka. I'm so excited to have Sierra Sullivan. Ladies, have you criticized yourself? Do you find yourself looking in the mirror, not liking what you see? Or perhaps you just allow programming to control how you react and how you respond to your body. Well, I'm here with the founder of the Portal Priestess Mystery School, Miss Sierra Sullivan, and I'm so excited today to share with you our sacred portal activation.
Hey,
So for those of you who are a little not familiar with portal days, they really are master number days. So 5, 5, 4, 4, 6, 6, 11, 11, right? And so 3, 3 is about radiating harmonious and caring energy. And as women, yes, we're speaking to the women today, it is about nourishing ourselves and self-care and the importance of helping ourselves first before we can be in service to others. And so what better day to talk with Miss Sierra Sullivan. And Sierra, can you just share a little bit about who you are as the founder of the Portal Priestess Mystery School?
Thanks for having me, sister. Yeah, so I am the founder of the Portal Priestess Mystery School, which is a school that teaches women the art of pussyology and helps them hone their intuition and connect more deeply to self, body, and nature. And I have been in the women's empowerment track through the body image perspective for a long time. Let's just say back in the early 2000s, I had a magazine that was all about helping women really love and appreciate these sacred vessels of ours. So it's been a big span, but that is my jam.
Yeah, indeed. And I've known Sierra for a long time. We've been friends for 25 years now, I think.
A while. Yeah, geez. So don't age us. Don't date us. Or age us. Date us. Wait, we're talking about positive body image.
We are timeless, darling. We just get better with age, like wine and cheese.
So true. So true. It is so true.
Yeah. And Sierra first introduced this work to me about 8 years ago. It was like a year after I had my son. And some of you might know this story, but I'm just going to give a little snippet. I gained 85 pounds during my pregnancy, and I was completely disconnected to my yoni because I couldn't see her. I couldn't see my sacred portal. I couldn't have contact with her because I visually couldn't see her. And then, unfortunately, my birth turned into a cesarean, and then I was cut in half. And so I was physically, energetically, and spiritually cut off from her. And I went to my very first church with Sierra in Berkeley, and I was invited to gaze at her through a mirror gazing practice. I was invited to name her. I was invited to communicate with her and start building and cultivating a relationship with her. Fast forward, here it is 8 years later. I am now a fully ordained Portal Priestess Oracle, and we're going to share a little bit more about what that is. Sierra.
So, as I mentioned, the art of pussyology is very much what it sounds like, just like palmology, where you can read the lines of one's hand and know a lot about a person's life path and journey. And, there's a lot of things that go into that. So, too, can the divine design of your vulva reveal very important codes, symbols, archetypes that are like sacred allies on your path. Either they've been messages and meanings and things that you have known and that have deep meaning for you. Like maybe there's an angel and that's the card that keeps popping up in your tarot deck. Or maybe there's a bull like a Taurus and you happen to be a Taurus. They're very uniquely yours. And there's always more to find. But we train women how to do this. And we feel that it takes away the shame, because a lot of times we might look at our yonis and think, why does my left labia look longer than my right labia? Or maybe my labia sticks out too far, or whatever the case. But when we're in the Portal Priestess Mystery School and we're looking with eyes of love at your divine design, we see that every unique feature has a story to tell. And so by the end of this kind of an experience, you can't help but find connection and love for something that you might otherwise have felt disdain or shame around.
Thank you so much for presencing that, because a lot of us do hold that shame and blame. I was sexually abused when I was younger. I held a lot of shame around that moment in my life, and what could I have done differently? Or, you know, it's definitely something that I've had to process through. And because of this work, I've really been able to come to a new place of confidence and empowerment. And that old story no longer applies to me. It's not part of my timeline any longer. And so I've cleared and claimed, like I've literally cleared the shame and blame and criticism. And now I'm claiming my own empowerment, my own embodiment. It's really powerful work, ladies. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say that most women are not really looking. First and foremost, it's hard to see, right? It's just the anatomy. So unless you have a mirror, or now thanks to technology, we can take
Yes.
yoni selfies, which then gives us an opportunity to see it as others see it and see it more clearly, because you can zoom in, you can check it out. Like, whereas in a mirror, which is also beautiful, it's much trickier because you're having to get angled and then you're just seeing a reflection. So
Yeah.
I find that if we just begin to look, even look, and we're not, either we're looking from eyes of sexuality, or we're afraid to look because we've been conditioned that it's ugly or something's wrong with us, or we're only looking when there's something going on down there. That's very few places in the mainstream culture that women can actually normalize what is between our legs. And that alone could help heal so much shame. But then, as you know, Anistara, in the Portal Priestess Mystery School, we go a step farther. We start to hear, or see rather, what our portals have to say to us.
Yeah.
And they are portals. We think about it, they are I like to call them the OG stargates, because they are literally the gateway that all of us came through. Or at least, biologically we're meant to come through, unless like being with cesarean or whatnot. And so there's a lot of information that can be told to us, shown to us. And we know in the Portal Priestess Mystery School that the longer you gaze and look, the more she will reveal, and the more information gets shared with us and those who are looking at. And then more and more and more you have information in which to connect and listen and do what your pussy is asking of you. And that isn't always easy to discern in our busy, mind heavy world.
Yeah. And, I wanted to mention too, that this can be a triggering conversation for some people. Like, some of my clients who have come to me felt major resistance, even from saying the word pussy, right? And what's in the way is the way. And when we get through that and we actually come to the other side of honoring our bodies in this really beautiful way, it's not sexual at all. Yes, you can tune into your sensuality, but ultimately we've been objectified and criticized in so many different ways. And through the programming and the patterning, this is about embodying yourself and looking and really discovering who you are by receiving the codes and messages that your divine design shares with you. And I find that when I have readings with women, that it changes depending on the time of month that it is, if they're flowing or not, if they just recently had connection with a partner or not, whether they have hair or not. Like, all of it is, I've had 4 readings myself now through this experience, actually probably more than that. And each time it was different. There was different codes, different symbols. And what I mean by that is, one time the elephant was very prominent in my yoni. Another time it was cobra. Another time it was peacock, or the phoenix rising from the ashes. And so when we get these symbols, we can go and look up the animal totem and the symbology and the meaning of the things that the oracle is sharing with us. And then in that particular moment in my life, it applied to my path. It was like, oh, of course that's showing up right now. Like, there was even an 1111 in my yoni right before I hosted an 1111 Unified. So it's really powerful to witness this and see how it shifts and changes for women as well. So it's a continuous growth experience.
It is like having your own oracle deck between your legs. I mean, it
Yeah.
literally is that. We
Yeah.
have oracle decks that we, return to time and time again because we love the messages. But can you imagine just being able to consult your own yoni? Exactly what you just said, Anistara. There's
Mhm.
different symbols that show up at different times, and they mean something for that time. Like I said, they're like your power allies, or your sacred journey markers to actually aid you and remind you of who you are, the power and the medicine that you hold as a woman on your path. So it's
Yeah.
very potent.
Yeah, it really is. So I have a question, Sierra, because I know that there's like the Native American Kadoshka that teaches different archetypes, and it's very minimal. I think there's like 8 of them. And I have found that through our working together for several years now that there are certain symbols that are showing up more often. And not that we want to box women into a particular archetype, but I am finding that there are like general themes or threads amongst most yonis. Can you
Yeah.
speak to that just for a moment?
Yeah, I find that a lot of times we will find sea creatures, mermaids, shells, whales. Um, those are pretty consistent.
Manta ray.
Manta rays, yes, of course. How can I have the manta ray? Totally. Dolphins.
Yeah.
Um, and then a lot of times also birds show up very
Mm.
often. Everything from eagles to parrots to I have a parakeet in my pussy. I'm like, I was like,
Mhm.
what the heck's a parakeet doing in there? But when I looked it up, I was like, oh, that totally makes sense. So a lot
Yeah.
of things birds, and then more often than not, we will see as far as the archetypes go, we've got Mother Mary that is
Yes.
very prevalent
Huge.
in many yonis. I originally, when I first got into this, thought she was in every yoni, but her essence is there, of course, but
Yeah.
she's not always as clear. But when she's not as clear, I find that there's the other archetype that shows up the most is a wizard. Like it's like
Uh-huh.
a wizard
Yes.
or some sort of hooded sorceress
Yeah.
figure, but usually some sort of high powerful figure is
Hmm.
in our yonis, and just which one depends on who you are and what
Right.
your yoni wants you to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, and I found that the women who do have the birds or the winged ones, they're like, "Oh, I'm part of bird tribe. Like that's my family, that's my lineage." Right? And or the water, sea creatures. It's like, "Oh, I'm a water creature. I am a mermaid in my past life or whatever it is, right?"
Totally, totally.
I love that. So I
Mhm.
wanted to just touch in for a moment as well. Like, what what does it take for a woman to just kind of begin this journey? I like to call it the portal path to empowerment because it really is. It's about connecting with your portal, cultivating a relationship with it, and moving on a path to empowerment because you're creating this relationship.
I would say it really just takes curiosity, like,
Hmm.
and your willingness to take that curiosity to the next step. Again, a lot of women find this very squeamish. I did. I was not one of those ones to go to a workshop where you're whipping out a mirror and you're looking between
Yeah,
your legs. I literally was like, not for me. That is for somebody else.
yeah.
But then I was on a path to empowerment. I wanted to understand my body. I had done a lot of work in my just field of women's empowerment, feminine rising, learning about pleasure as a pathway, and so on and so forth. And then I came across, a woman that was teaching more about the pussy itself, and I was like, I think it's about the whole woman, not just the pussy. But after I took her courses, and then started to find my own path of like, well, I can't. I actually had a hard time discerning what my pussy wanted to say to me. And so I realized I needed a visual because I'm a visual person.
Mm.
I'm not, I don't know, the hearing is kind of sad, I don't know, but I'm a visual learner. And so I'm like, if I can't see her, I can't know her. I
Mm.
won't know her. And
Uh-huh.
that's how my path began, that opened up this pathway, and then ultimately this lineage that we now teach with the pussyology is I needed to see her to start to understand, what does she want to show me? Or how can I even just be okay with what she looks like? And
Mm.
that's where this device came in quite handy. I had my husband take a picture, and I remember looking, and I looked in the mirror, but to see her close up, and like I said, to be able to zoom in, I was like, oh, is that what she looks like? That's what all these lovers and all these these men have seen, and I've never been at close proximity with her
Yeah.
like I can with a phone. And so it changed everything for me. And
Mm.
once I got to know her visually, and then of course there's a whole long story we won't get into today about how I got called onto this path and the lineage
Mhm.
of the Portal
Mhm.
Priestess Mystery School. But I began to really get the beauty and the just there's just so much information. Even if you're not seeing symbols because you're just looking and you haven't quite been trained on the intuition or looking,
Yeah. Yeah.
but there's still she's a transmission. There's a transmission, and to be able to get intimate with this part of us that is so powerful, that is the Stargate, that we need to know how powerful she is, because if not, we're going to allow things to happen to her. We're going to have trauma that gets continued. We need to teach all humans this so that
Yeah.
everybody has a reverence, and that's our ultimate mission. But we're starting
Yes.
with those who have the yoni between our legs. If we're not right with this part of ourselves, how can we ever expect the world to be aligned or adoring or listening? So it does start here.
Exactly, right? And begin within. And yeah, I find that so long ago in ancient times that there was effigies and women and goddess and the Venus of Willendorf and yonis everywhere. And then when the patriarchal, hierarchical, masculine lineage really started taking over that, they like just didn't acknowledge it anymore. And it really came to a point where we were dishonored. The mother has been dishonored. I was in Egypt in the Temple of Isis, and there was a Catholic Pope like built into her temple, and like crosses like graffitied over the hieroglyphs representing the mother Isis. I was just like, wow. And so what's happening now, as we are becoming more embodied in our feminine bodies and being more in touch with our true essence, and that we're multidimensional beings of infinite possibility, we're opening up to a whole new age where woman, goddess, and mother is being acknowledged and recognized again. And Luminessa likes to call it the new feminine rising. And so I'm just so excited because this missionary work it's huge. I feel like this is going to be a big piece. This is going to be a movement. This is going to be something that will go down in our HERstory books as a moment in time when women really started to step into their power and become the leaders that they are.
Yes. Yeah. And if we are afraid of what's between our own legs, we've got a long way to go. So start by getting acquainted. And that is the first step to exactly that dream and that vision that you so beautifully articulated, Anistara.
It is. Thank you. Oh my gosh. The sun keeps coming in and out, and I'm like, I'm orange. I'm not orange. I'm orange.
You're just glowing.
Yes, I am. So, darling, I know that we have something really special to share with everyone because we have a live event happening for those of you who are in the San Francisco, North Bay area. Sierra Sullivan's coming to town.
I know. I'm so excited because this is actually for me the first in-person event related to the Portal Priestess that I'm going to be a part of. You have been holding that torch and doing a beautiful job, and so I'm so excited to see what you have created, and especially with Luminessa and the ways that you've merged all these other amazing, empowering practices into the mix. But I'm so excited to be coming to NorCal and to be in person for a full day. And ladies, just if you're like, oh, what's a full day? I want to say, Pussy likes to take her time. We all know that. There's no rushing her. So you owe yourself and your yoni a day that you can be dedicated to giving her love and light and appreciation. And you're going to have a great time with the sisters that will be in the house with us.
Yeah. So it's at Joy Oasis in Occidental. It's actually my home. We have a beautiful retreat property here. We'll be in the dome and in the yurt home. And this is just a really beautiful womb space in the middle of Mother Nature. We are surrounded by the redwood forest, and we are 10 minutes from the ocean. And we are going to sit in communion and in sacred circle together, sisters, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And it's called Sacred Portal Puja. It is a Portal Priestess one-day immersion. So you're going to get the introduction to the Portal Priestess Mystery School lineage. We also have a guest speaker, Luminessa and Jara, that's going to bring in the Native American Kadoshka archetypes. And we are just going to go on a full day exploration and journey together. And I really do look forward to having some of you with us. Yeah, you can find out more at anistara.com/sacred portal. And yeah, is there anything else you'd like to add, Sierra?
I love it. I can already feel the womb space beckoning, and I hope that it's going to be a beautiful day, whether it's weather or not. The weather cooperates, but I'm so excited to be hanging out with all you goddesses in the NorCal. Joy Oasis. So
yeah,
come join us.
Yes, please. And we're going to transmute shame and criticism into empowerment and confidence. So come join us, sisters, and let us hold you. Let us be in sacred circle together and do this work together. Because again, it does begin within and it does start with us. And if you want to be a part of this new feminine rising movement, then we invite you to be with us. So Sierra, thank you so much for being here on 3-3 Portal Day. Yay! I love it. It was like last minute. We're like, let's do it. 3-3. Woohoo!
I know. We didn't even schedule it, and then you remembered. I was like, it's 3:00. we were just on it. We didn't even realize on it.
We already knew it. See, it was already aligning because we were so connected.
Totally.
Love it. All right, friends. The link for the event is below. Again, that's Sunday, March 17th at Joy Oasis, Sacred Portal Puja. We really look forward to having you with us. And we hope you're creating a beautiful, fantabulous 3-3 Portal Day. Mwah.